Hello everyone, welcome back to Simulated Heaven. So, one thing I've said a lot over the years is that I've been very disappointed with Farm Simulator and how the graphics haven't really improved over the years. I kind of want to see if that's actually true, or if that is that I haven't really analysed this. You know, sometimes if you go off your feelings, it's like you can't really remember. So I wanted to have a look at all the Farm Simulator games that I own. I'm starting with Farm Simulator 13, which was released in October of 2013. That's the game I'm in right now. And I kind of want to go through each game and analyse the graphics so we can see all together whether the graphics have improved. I am basically going to use the same recording software for every video. The settings are the same. I'm going to basically crank the graphics up as high as they will go in each of the games. So let's look at the buildings. You see that the textures are a bit low res. The buildings look a bit blocky. They look okay. They kind of look a bit cartoonish in a way. Let's look at some vehicles. Well, there's a trailer here. The trailer looks okay, but you can see again it's very low res, right? The textures are quite low res. And the wheels are not quite circular, are they? Not quite. However, I quite like the lighting. Yeah. This older tractor doesn't look too bad, does it? Looks okay. Not bad, not bad. And then this tractor. Again, not bad. Again, you know, the level of detail is pretty okay, but you can see that the texture work is a little bit low res. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's not that awful though. It's not that awful. And I mean this video is only talking about the graphics. Look how far I can zoom out. This is the vanilla game and I can zoom out all the way. Why can't you do that in the latest game? Anyway, like I said, this is only really supposed to be about the graphics. It's not really about anything else. So let's have a drive around the map. You can see there's a bit of popping. I would also say the mountains in the distance, they don't look that great, right? This is the interior view. It's kind of hilarious because that doesn't look that much of a difference from the latest one, but obviously the textures are a little bit lower res, right? Let's go this way. Oh yeah. Kind of the view distance is not that great, right? You can see that the texture of the field is not loading in very well. And I have this on the highest that it will go. There you go again, a fair amount of pop-in, I would say. I will say again that I quite like the lighting though. So let's have a bit of a run around here. The trees? Yeah, again, low res, low texture resolution. They don't look that bad. But really, for a game from 2013, graphically this is not particularly that bad. I have noticed the settings, the amount of graphical settings or any settings in this game, there's hardly any. I found that very weird. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look that bad. It's basically that everything is slightly low res, right? Whoa, hello. She's also a bit low res. But yeah. But I wouldn't say it's that bad. I would say it's still pretty playable. But I mean, this is the base, the 2013 level is the base, and it will be interesting, like, to see as we go through the years how it improves and how it changes. Oh, there's an aeroplane. So there you go. Let's hop on to the next game. Okay, here we are now in Farm Simulator 15. This game basically came out exactly a year later than the last game. So let's look straight away at the tractors. So I would say straight away that the texture work on that seems a little bit more higher resolution, right? Some of the details are still not great, like the black part there at the bottom, but other than that, I can certainly see an improvement from the last game. Maybe it's not like a massive improvement, but there is an improvement now, I think. One thing I thought was really interesting, the user interface from this game is way, way better than the last game, and this feels more like the Farm Sim currently, like the latest game. This UI doesn't feel that far off to me, right? Here's another tractor. We still have airplanes in the sky. Yep, some parts are still low res, but it does feel slightly better than the last game. This cedar. Yeah, not bad. But yeah, some of the textures are still a little bit low res. Okay, let's go have a look at some buildings. The kind of sky looks slightly better than the last game. It looks a bit more detailed with the clouds and everything. I mean, the map I'm in is exactly the same as the map I was in the last game. Let's look at some of the textures. Yep, slightly low res, but it isn't as bad as the last game in my opinion. A slight improvement. I wouldn't say it's like a massive improvement. There's more flowers, right? There's more flowers and flora here that I can see on the map. In the distance as well, I think the distance seems slightly better. I think that's because it looks a bit more detailed. You know, they've added more stuff on the horizon, so I think that helps. Right, let's get in one of these. Is it allowing me to zoom out? It is. Again, why can't you zoom out that much in the latest game? I suppose I should look here. I suppose I should look at the resolution of the building, because I did that in the last game. And again, I think I can see a slight improvement. I think it's more in the detail. Maybe the level of detail is slightly higher than the last game. The resolution slightly better maybe. Okay, let's have a little bit of a drive around. Now, straight away, I feel like... we still have the thing where the view distance is not high enough. And again, I have it on the highest graphical settings that it will allow. But I still see that circle around me where the view is slight, you know, where the textures are only loading in when I'm within that circle. I would say it looks slightly less obvious in this game, but it is still there. And again, did you see the pop-in? We still have the pop-in. It kind of looks more green, there's more flowers, it looks a bit more detailed. The texture of the dirt path, I would say, seems slightly better. The UI is a million times better than the last game. So yeah, there is an improvement there in the graphics. We're going to drive up to the exact same location as the last video, have a bit of fun on that. Here we go. Way. So yeah, I mean, wouldn't say it's an absolute massive upgrade. I think it looks kind of similar with, you know, slight improvements of the textures and the detailing, right? Certainly a bit more detailing. Let's look at the people. Have they improved the faces? Oh yeah, look at that. The faces are way, way better in this game than the last game. That's good. Okay, so I think that's enough of Farm Simulator 15. Let's move on and have a look at the next one. Oh, actually, before I do that, they have vehicles, static vehicles, which I didn't see in the last game, although the textures are not very good of the vehicles. But the diner, I stood outside here, didn't I? In the last one. And again, it looks kind of similar. It's just got more flowers and more detailing, in my opinion. Okay, so I'll see you in the next game. Hello everyone, welcome back. So, unfortunately I don't own Farm Simulator 17. So, we're jumping forward a little bit to Farm Simulator 19. So there's like a three-year gap from the last game. So it'll be interesting seeing what the improvements are with the 3-year gap. I would say straight away that again the flowers and the flora and the fauna seems a lot more than the last game. Do I? Yeah. I would say I'm a little bit disappointed with the scenery in the background. It does look slightly better than the last game, but if you think about a 3-year gap, like the trees over there actually look worse than in the last game. They look really low detail. But then again, I mean, I've set the game onto very high, you know, the highest that it will allow me to go. I don't remember seeing birds flying up before. So I think that they've added that. I think that in general it looks a bit more realistic because when they add all this extra fauna and flora, whatever you call it, it kind of helps make the map look a bit more realistic, a bit more natural, right? But yeah, the background, like the scenery in the distance, I think that I would have hoped it would have looked a bit nicer, really. Okay, the trees, the texture on the trees is still quite low res, right? Still, I mean, how about on the old buildings? Yeah, maybe slightly better in terms of the textures, but the pop-in, the kind of the texture pop-in is still there. But I mean, if you think that's a 3-year gap from the last game, it's not massively better, is it? I mean, it is an improvement, but for 3 years, I think I would expect a lot more, really. Yeah. Anyway, let's look at a tractor. Oh, is it already connected up? Oh, I didn't do that. Oh, it's not actually connected. So here we go. We got a 3-year gap. Yeah, we can see the textures are more high res than in the last game, but you would expect that with a 3-year difference. There is a bit more detail in the textures again. That looks a bit low res, doesn't it? It's okay, yeah. I mean, it's pretty good. Yeah. Certainly an improvement. Certainly a improvement. Okay. I'm interested when I drive around, seeing if there's still an issue. See, I can zoom out in this game very far as well. For some reason you can't really do that in the latest farm sim. I don't know why. So, is there still that circle around me where there's like a pop-in, you know, that it will only load the textures when I get in this circle? Well, maybe the circle still exists, but it's... Oh, yeah, it is still there, actually. I still see it in the distance there. Maybe it's slightly larger in this game, so maybe that's why I don't feel it as much. Like, in the first, you know, in the other games... Well, certainly in the first game, it was really obvious. But, yeah, it is still there. You can see in the distance that the texture of the field is only loading in when I get in a certain area. Let's look at the interior. Oh yeah, so the interior certainly is improved. There's a digital dashboard there. It all looks really high resolution. Yeah, so they have worked on the interiors. There's a little sticker back there. Yeah. Okay, now unfortunately they don't have the same map as in the last game, so I can't show you the exact same thing, but it looks like the detailing on the map seems to be improved. How about the car, the textures on the car? You know what, that is slightly better, but that still looks a bit rubbish, doesn't it? 3 years later, not that impressed. This one seems a bit nicer. I think that for 2019, I would have hoped for something more. I mean, yeah, the resolutions are more high quality in the texturing and everything. The detailing is obviously higher. I think, though, you can't... Well, I think it's amazing how much of a difference the fauna and flora, you know, all the extra flowers and grass are making. It just really, really makes it seem a lot more realistic, right? This looks a lot more realistic, I think, than the last one. So yeah, there is that. Okay, let's go a bit further. Let's have a look up here if we can. Yeah, I mean, I know it's only a scenery object, but come on. I would have thought they would be able to have something a bit more high resolution at the, in 2019. But yeah, there is certainly a higher level of detail, but I was kind of expecting that the textures would be a bit better than this, far more improved. What, I can't walk through there, that's great. Oops. Especially when there was a 3-year gap. I mean, this is only my view, my opinion. I mean, obviously in this video you can see the differences yourself. So I would love to hear about what you think in the comments. Because obviously, you can also see from the various videos how the game's improving. Yeah, this looks pretty okay. Pretty nice, the detailing is there. Anyway, I think we've seen enough. I think we've seen enough of this particular game. Let's finally look at the latest game. So here we are in the latest Farm Simulator 2022 game. I've been running around to try and find like a hill. This is a fairly flat map. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the same map as the first two Farm Simulator games that I tried. Because I kind of wanted to see the scenery in the distance, if it's much improved. I would say it's not massively improved over the last game. Maybe there's more trees. The trees still don't look that great. Yeah. It looks okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a massive upgrade over the last game. The flowers and the grass again, it looks pretty much the same. It's almost as if in Farm Simulator 15, that's when they got the massive improvement. From 13, the user interface was improved a lot. The graphics were upped a fair bit, but since then, maybe the changes, the improvements are not that large. If you think about how many years have passed since then, I would have hoped to have seen a bit more improvement, really, I suppose. Yeah, the texture work is good, right? But then again, you would expect. I mean, this game actually came out a couple of years after 19, the last game that I had in this little review. So yeah, they have improved the textures there. There is still some kind of a pop in. I can still see. I really want to know what the engine is. Have they improved or upgraded the game engine since Farm Simulator 15, or have they just been building on the same engine? I wouldn't be surprised if it was the latter, honestly. Yeah. Slightly better, maybe, but it really is not. Whoopsie! It really is not a massive improvement from the last game from a couple of years ago. Really, slight improvement. Wouldn't really say it's a massive improvement. I mean, the car here looks kind of flat, right? The texture looks kind of flat. Yes, it looks fairly detailed, but it looks flat, and the chrome as well on the wheels looks flat. It doesn't look realistic at all to me. Yeah, it's okay. Okay. Alright. I need to have a look at the tractor, right? And again, we have the birds, like in the last game. Pretty much the same as the last game, with the the birds that will take off. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, slightly improved, I would say, again, from the last game. The detailing on the engine specifically seems to be a bit more than the last game. Right, if you look inside there. Oh, a bit of lag there. Okay, I think I know what's going on here. I think I know what is going on here. Oh, so you can zoom. Why did I think you can't zoom out in this game? You can now. From when I used to play it before, I don't remember being able to zoom out that far. Anyway, we're not really talking about zoom, we're talking about the graphics, right? Yeah. The interior looks like, yeah, the interior's about the same really, isn't it? It's not like a massive upgrade or anything. Okay, do we have the circle around us? I'm ruining the crops, but it doesn't really matter because I'm not really properly playing this. I'm just using it to, you know, to test everything. There is, I think they've mastered it in this game, in the fact that there probably is a circle around me where the detail is getting less. Yeah, it is. I can see it there. Look, the green of the grass. Look, you see? And things are popping in. So yeah, they still have that. No, so they haven't really mastered it, have they? You know, you would have thought in this day and age, you know, with the game engines that we have, that you wouldn't have that issue where, you know, the grass texture is popping in, like, at that, you know, that amount, at that distance. I really would have hoped that they would have fixed that. So yeah, I'm going to say that I reckon that they're using the same engine. I think the game engine is the same. They've just been like improving on it slowly. I would take a guess that it's the same engine from the 2015 game. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not an expert in these things, but for me, the graphics have not really been improved enough. Slight improvements each time. The game looks okay, but frankly, I would have hoped for more. Right, with the kind of hardware that we have available to us in this day and age. Okay, the cars do look slightly better, the static vehicles. Not massively, it's still, you know, it still looks a bit weird in places. But, yeah, maybe a slight improvement. Oh yeah, that is certainly a bit more detailed because it has a actual interior. So yeah, maybe you could say there is, you know, the detailing again is slightly improved. But I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit underwhelmed with this game. I mean, it came out a couple of years ago. It's the latest game. I don't know. I would have hoped for something a bit that looks a bit nicer than this, really. Yeah. So, of course, this is only really talking about the graphics, right? I'm sure that there are people that will say in the comments that, you know, they really like the improvements in the gameplay. That's fair enough, but this video is only talking about the the graphics. And for me, yes, there is a slight improvement each time, but you know, that circle around you where the textures are popping in, they still have it in this game. Yes, it might be slightly improved, maybe it isn't as obvious, but for me, I really would have hoped that by now that they would have been able to get rid of that. So yeah, I would say I'm slightly disappointed in this game. I would have hoped for more. But then again, this is a personal thing. So like I was saying earlier, you can actually see the differences in each of the games from this video yourself, right? And you can actually make your own mind up as to what you think. But for me, yes, the pop in might be slightly better. The circle around you isn't as obvious, maybe, but for me, the fact it is still there in this day and age shows me that the improvements are not really enough. So I mean, if you were buying a farm sim, I would say I would highly recommend that you don't buy the latest one. I would buy the Farm Sim 19 in terms of the graphics, because it's really not much of a difference, and you would be able to find that game on sale very easily at a very high discount. That's what I would do, but that's only really talking about the graphics, right? Anyway, I would love to know what you think about all of this. You can leave a comment in the comment section below. As always, thank you for watching.